Hey there, crypto traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home from J Stocks, crypto assets, news and interviews. Also the channel that was created by a retail investor for retail investors and home to the best crypto community. Today is Thursday, October 3rd. Happy Thursday. Hope you're well. And in this video, we're going to be discussing the SEC appealing in the Ripple case. This was about 5 days left ahead of the deadline. So just super slimy and scumbag fashion that we are used to with the SEC. They waited to as long as possible. And the hearing with the SEC oversight from Congress, they were probably waiting a little bit after that and probably didn't want to get grilled during the hearing. So there was some speculation that they might appeal afterwards, and that made a lot of sense. But it is what it is. It sucks. It's unfortunate. But a lot of people, legal experts, were saying that this could be a real possibility. I didn't think it was going to be the most likely scenario. If they hadn't done it by now, why would they? But then there was the whole thought of, after the hearing, they wanted to wait until after the Congress Oversight Committee hearing so they wouldn't get grilled. And that makes a lot of sense. But it just doesn't make any sense from a political standpoint. This is a political death sentence, in my opinion, leading into the elections, 32 days away. So it's very strange, but you have to question at this point why they're doing it. And it's just a stall tactic, right? I didn't think that was the most likely scenario. So I'll admit I was wrong. I thought, there'd be an 80% chance they wouldn't appeal and maybe a 20% chance that they would. And they ended up appealing. So we'll discuss my thoughts and opinions on this. I'm not going to do what everybody else does and just read through it and read a bunch of X comments. I'll give my own thoughts and opinions, not just go on and read other people's posts. But this is not the end of the world, in my opinion. We'll jump to it here in just a moment. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. Like the video, I'd appreciate it. If you find value in this today, and you can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Never buy or sell anything I say or write. I do own XRP, full disclosure. And I just posted this video a couple of days ago as well, that Bitwise filed for an ETF for XRP. And there was also another filing, I think it was a Canary. But this isn't the end of the world, right? The whole fact that this came out and then the SEC appealed, okay, yeah, it might delay it a little bit, but I always said that I thought it was a 2025 issue anyway. If you go to my videos, I said XRP ETF 2025. I said it's more than likely going to be a 2025 thing. Their RLUSD stablecoin has been 99% minted, so that launch is due anytime. And I mentioned that they might save that launch news for after the SEC in case they did appeal. So I said that they had until the 7th of October to appeal, so they might save the RLUSD news after that in case they did appeal and we see some downside, which we did. XRP dropped about 11% just on the news breaking. But as you can see over the last few days, week or so, we've been down about almost 24%. So, they might be holding this in their tool belt in order to offset some of this weakness. So we'll see if we get the RLUSD stablecoin officially launched, and it's going to be on the XRP ledger and Ethereum network. So we'll see if we get that news kind of to offset some of this weakness. But overall, this isn't a big issue in terms of the XRP ETF, because I always thought it was going to be a 2025 thing anyway. And you have to remember that just because this appeal happened doesn't mean that they're questioning, is XRP a security or not? They can't appeal that. Okay. That's not appealable. XRP in and of itself is not a security. That is the law of the land. That's not in dispute. What they're disputing is the programmatic sales and institutional sales, et cetera, maybe the amount of the fine that they have to pay, right? So we knew they initially sought $2 billion and they only got $125 million, right, from the ruling. So we'll see what happens here. But, somebody's saying XRP is a security. They're going to appeal. Even if they could appeal the status of XRP being a security, why would that matter in terms of an ETF? People are saying, there's not going to be an ETF because XRP is being appealed. The Ripple case got appealed and XRP could be a security. Well, no, that doesn't even make any sense. They're not appealing whether or not XRP is a security or not. The SEC even said that they wouldn't do that. And they were denied the interlocutory appeal, but this appeal, they have every right to do it. They can't be denied or anything like that by the court. But even if XRP were a security, that doesn't have anything to do with having an ETF. And look at SPY, the ETF that tracks the S&P 500. Those are all securities. All stocks are securities. So I don't understand why people are saying that, there can't be an ETF if XRP is a security. That doesn't even make any sense. There's tons of securities inside of ETFs already, right? Not saying that it is a security, but Stuart Alderodi came out, the chief legal officer at Ripple. Again, I'm not just going to read everything. Here was the official United States District Court as well with the appeal notice. So he said that they might actually cross appeal, which could end up being, this could be a bad move by the SEC. It's probably going to go to the Supreme Court at this point. So it's not the end of the world, in my opinion. There was a lot of chatter. Ripple executives were pretty upset, up in arms about it. But I just wanted to give my thoughts and opinions. So we have to try not to get too caught up in the day-to-day stuff. And I know it's easier said than done, but at the end of the day, it's easy to get caught up in the moment in a news catalyst, in an event, etc. A lot can happen in a very short period of time. And in terms of the court cases that are ongoing, right? A lot can happen there from other cases that are going on, adjacent to this one in the crypto industry. There could be legislation, not to mention it's an election year. There could be, in the US, after the elections, there could be a change in administration, right? Well, there will be, right? There in the House and the Senate, etc. And then with regard to the Ripple case, so many things can happen there. Like, we don't have a crystal ball. There's so many scenarios that could play out. Gary could step down willingly. Congress could restructure the SEC. There's bills, Warren Davidson looking to restructure the SEC instead of all the directors reporting, or members, whatever you want to call them, directors reporting to the commissioner. It would be the other way around. There'd be like an executive director and then all of the directors at the top, right? So it'd be like almost the inverse. So there's that taking place. We could see, like I said, he could step down. They could pass legislation. They could give clear rules of the road, right? Congress could, which would override the court case. The SEC appealed the ruling, as I mentioned, but this cannot be denied. A lot of people are saying, well, what if they deny the appeal? It's not like the interlocutory appeal. This one cannot be denied. Like, they have every right to appeal. But however, the appeal can be withdrawn at any time, and we could even still see a settlement in the case, right? And then, so essentially it's going from the district court, right? If we look here, you can see here it's going from the United States District Court, Southern District of New York. So essentially what's going to happen is they're appealing it to the appellate court, which is the Second Circuit, which is the next level up. And then there's the Supreme Court of the United States, so SCOTUS, right? So essentially what could happen here is this could go from the district court to the appellate court, Second Circuit, and then, the SEC could get a win here, and then it could end up going all the way to the Supreme Court, and then Ripple wins there, like similar to the Howey case, right, in the Orange Groves. Or Ripple could just win at the Second Circuit at the appellate court, and it could be done there as well. So there's so many scenarios. Ripple could lose in the appellate, and then appeal in the Supreme Court and lose there. Like, I don't think that's the most likely scenario, but there's so many things playing out, and in my opinion, I don't think there's been any change. I think that this might go all the way to the Supreme Court, and then it'll be the new Ripple test instead of the Howey test, essentially. But at the end of the day, the SEC is not appealing the fact that XRP in and of itself is a security. That cannot be appealed. This is all pay to play, in my opinion, right? It's just a show. It's to slow Ripple down while others can catch up, like the incumbents, the big banks, Wall Street banks, like Gary worked for, Goldman Sachs, right? Made millions and millions and millions of dollars, and he's just trying to protect his friends over at Goldman and all these big Wall Street banks, right? So we just have to be patient and continue building positions. That's my plan. I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold, but I'm as bullish as ever. And I don't think the charts are still super primed and ready to go. In my opinion, XRP just had a golden cross. Could see a death cross here, but it hasn't happened yet. And just this is the main thing that I'm looking at is the 50 weekly. When that crosses and closes, when the weekly candle closes, and we see the 50 higher than the 200 weekly moving average, that's going to be go time. And I think we could see all-time highs in the carts. But as of right now, we're potentially seeing a MACD and a stochastic bear cross. We lost the 10-week moving average. It's not looking good. The daily EMAs are crossing bearish at the moment. Our next major support level is at 50 cents. The low of the bounce here was at 50.7 cents. So we essentially tested that. And after that, if we just zoom out here, you're looking at around 47 cents, the next support. And then after that, it would be price action support. So we have a level there at 42 and then nothing until about, I think it was 38 cents. So if we just go to the low here, 38 cents. So that's the next level. But the low of last month at 50.2 cents, 50 psychological, nice round psychological number as well. And then the low there at 38 cents. So that would be the next major level of support here. But again, I added a little bit when it was down about 11% yesterday. I'm not concerned at all. I do not think that, at the end of the day, this is just a Ripple thing. They're just appealing the Ripple thing now. XRP, it doesn't matter for us as XRP investors, right? Unless you're investing in Ripple, the company, the private company, and you're accredited, and they're going to IPO in 2025. People confuse and conflate the two, right? XRP and Ripple. Ripple is a private company with their shares trade at around $40 a share right now, right? And you can only buy it if you're an accredited investor, and that's in the company, right? That's a board of directors, a company, a centralized company. But XRP, the decentralized virtual currency, which is controlled by no one, you can buy it now, and the price is trading at around 50 cents, right? So Ripple, the company, is $40 a share, private equity, and they're going to IPO, eventually be a stock on the NASDAQ or the NYSE, right, potentially. And, the share price is around $40 is private. Can only buy it if you have $1 million net worth, accredited investor. XRP, you can buy it, anybody can buy it, and it's at 52 cents, right? So this doesn't change anything as an XRP investor. The only thing that's going to change is how Ripple moves forward with its business in the future. So if you're a Ripple investor and you own private shares at $40 a share right now, then okay, maybe you're super concerned about this case. But all they're doing is appealing the programmatic sales, the institutional sales, and maybe the fine that they have to end up paying or not paying, right? Maybe they end up appealing and it goes in their favor, right? Or maybe they have to pay a bit more money. But at the end of the day, XRP is not a security, and that is not being debated. That's not what's being appealed here, right? So as an XRP investor, I'm not worried at all. We already see it adopted across the world, and they're really doing the industry a solid here, and they have the war chest and the money and the capital to continue this fight, and they're going the full distance, which was always a possibility. So at the end of the day, I think this is just classic pay to play. They sued Amazon, they sued Tesla, they sued Apple, they sued Facebook, they sue all the major companies that are disrupting and that are going to be here to stay, because they know that they have to give they have to give part of their business over and pay to play, right? Whether it be through fines in the SEC or just stalling enough so that other companies that are being disrupted, like the Blockbusters being disrupted by Netflix, right? Airbnb's disrupting the hotel industries, right? They have to slow it down so that the hotel industry can figure out a way to make money off of it, right? And then they unleash the shackles and they let it go. But I still think over the next few months, we're going to see a massive, massive uptick in price and alt season. And typically XRP is the one to run around the end of that alt season. So I still think the end of the year is going to be uber bullish, and we should see that spill over into the beginning of 2025, and it's going to be an epic alt season. And I think XRP will still continue to see some upside and will shock the world. All right, going to end it there. Hopefully this video was helpful. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section below. I always love hearing from you, and we'll continue the conversation there. All right, have a great night. It's Rod with Pow Group. As I mentioned, I think I said it already. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video.